Hello again, class. We're moving on to our second piece of Chapter 11. This one is the Pizza Sprite Python program. And what we're going to see here is something very similar as our last particular script. Again, we're going to use a bat or batch file that's going to call the Python program, and it's also going to do a pause, allowing us to have it stop so we can actually view it. This particular week, what we're going to do is we're going to do a comparison of the two. This is our background script that we reviewed before, and this is our new Pizza Sprite script. And what you're going to see is very similar. We're just adding to. Again, it's very much like having a Lego set. Each Lego block is a block of code, and we're just going to add additional blocks of code in order to make it a more complicated code. Okay, so again, from the beginning, we're going to pull in a full LiveWires package, but we're only going to utilize the games piece of the full package. We're going to keep our screen width and height exactly the same, and we're going to have the frames per second also the same. Again, what we see here is we're going to utilize the wall JPEG as our background. The transparency remains false. Okay. But notice here where we have our main loop as our ending, we added additional code, and what we're adding is the Pizza Sprite. Now a sprite is nothing more than another name for a picture. A lot of times what you may see on games and everything, the sprite is also referred to as the avatar that you're playing. But in this particular program, the sprite is basically the pizza picture that we're going to put into the wall. So here we are pulling up the pizza picture, and this time we're going to give it a variable of pizza image, but rather than giving it a height and width and frames per second, we're actually going to give it coordinates of x and y. If you recall in chapter 11 when you read, the picture is much like a vector of the background, and each vector has coordinates and points, and this is the one's going to give this particular coordinate a point of x and y. And as we move forward in chapter 11, you'll see that these coordinates will change to allow the picture to actually appear to move across the screen. And then of course we end it with our main loop. Now whenever we run this particular bat file, this is what we now see. We see our original background of the wall, but now an additional sprite or picture on the exact coordinates provided to us of x and y. So at this point we're going to move on to the next one, and I hope that these give you a little bit of insight of how and why these things are working as they are.